$1,840. That is what's sitting in your checking account. The morning you turn 36, not your savings account, your checking account, the number that is supposed to carry you through to your next paycheck. And it's already thinner than it should be. You know it before you even open the app because you felt this exact tightness in your chest before. It's a Sunday. You're on the couch, laptop balanced on a pillow, the TV playing something you aren't even watching. Your partner is asleep in the next room, and you're doing that thing you do every few months, where you tell yourself you'll just check one account. Then, somehow, you're 3 tabs deep into every account you own. Your salary is $81,200 a year. That's $6,700 a month before taxes, which becomes $48.90 after everything gets taken out. Rent is $1,850. Car payment, $410. Insurance, $240. Minimum payment on the credit card, $175. Groceries, $520. The gym membership you haven't used in 4 months, $59. Streaming services you forgot to cancel, $61. That should leave you with $1,575. But your bank statement says you spent $1,690 in a category your bank lazily labels other. You've been bleeding $115 a month for over a year, and you didn't notice because $115 doesn't feel like a disaster. It feels like nothing. It feels like a coffee here, a delivery fee there, a trial subscription you meant to cancel on Tuesday. It's never one massive bad decision. It's 40 small ones, wearing a disguise. You scroll back further than you meant to. 6 months of statements, then 12, then 18. You start highlighting things you don't even remember buying. A $15 charge from an app you downloaded once and forgot existed. A $22 late fee from a bill you were sure you'd paid on time. A recurring $9 charge you genuinely cannot identify. No matter how long you stare at the merchant name, none of it is dramatic, and that's exactly what makes it so unbearable to look at. There's no single villain in this story. There's just 18 months of not looking closely enough, and the quiet arithmetic of what that costs you, compounding in the background the entire time. You close the laptop. You sit there in the blue light of the paused TV screen, and something in you goes very quiet. Not panicked, just quiet. The kind of quiet that comes right before a decision you've been avoiding for years finally arrives. Here's what nobody tells you about starting at 36. You are not too late, but you are also not early. And pretending otherwise wastes time you genuinely do not have left to waste. The people who started at 24 got 12 years of compounding you will never get back. That's real. That's math, not pessimism. Grieve it if you need to. Give it one night, then move on. Because the alternative, staying frozen at the same number for another decade, costs you infinitely more than the 12 years already gone. Here's what else is true. You are 36. You have a full decade of professional experience behind you. You know how to negotiate. You know how systems work. You are not learning to walk while everyone else is running. You are simply running from a different starting line. And the race is longer than people admit. If you invest $750 a month starting right now and average a 9% annual return, you will have just over $1.3 million by the time you're 65. That number isn't motivational fluff. It's simple arithmetic. It sits quietly behind every choice you make from this point on, whether you look at it or not. But $750 a month means something has to change first. It means finding that $115 leak and closing it. It means facing the credit card balance, $4,200 at 22% interest instead of glancing past it. It means actually deciding, that the version of you at age 50 matters more than the version of you eating out 4 nights a week right now. Your first goal isn't retirement. It isn't even a massive emergency fund yet. It's $2,000 sitting untouched in a basic savings account. That number feels almost embarrassingly small to say out loud at 36. And that embarrassment is exactly why so many people your age never say it out loud at all. They'd rather pretend they're further ahead than admit they're starting the real work now. So you start cutting. You cancel the gym you don't use, $59 back. You call your insurance company and switch providers after a 20-minute hold, $34 a month saved. You sell the road bike sitting in the garage that you rode twice last summer, $310 cash. You start packing lunch 4 days a week instead of buying it. Roughly $160 a month saved. One Tuesday morning, you check the account. $2,140. You don't celebrate. There's no one to tell. And even if there were, how do you explain that $2,140 feels like so much more than it sounds like? But something in your chest loosened slightly. Proof, small and specific, that direction can change. By 37, you've automated $500 a month into a Roth IRA and $250 into a high-yield savings account. The money leaves your checking account before you can talk yourself out of it. You live on what's left. It's tighter some months than others, but it holds. Then, the water heater goes. You hear it before you see it. A low hum, turning into a hiss in the basement on a Thursday morning in November. The plumber quotes you $1,650 for a full replacement. 2 years ago, this would have gone straight onto a credit card, sitting there for months, quietly growing at 22% interest. Instead, you pay it directly from savings. You feel the account drop, and your stomach tightens as you watch the number fall. But you don't go backward. You rebuild the fund over the next 3 months, one automated transfer at a time. Somewhere in the middle of that year, you sit down and actually read your 401k statement for the first time in 3 years. Not skim it. Read it. You find a fund eating 1.2% in management fees every single year. A number so small it looks harmless printed on a page, until you project it forward across 30 years and realize it's quietly going to cost you over $94,000 by retirement. Not because anyone stole it, because you never looked closely enough to notice it leaving. You spend a Saturday afternoon on hold, read prospectuses you barely understand, and move everything into a low-cost index fund charging 0.04%. Nothing about your daily life changes that day. No one notices, but $94,000 just quietly stayed in your future instead of someone else's fee structure. At 38, something happens that has nothing to do with your account balance. You're standing in a hardware store on a Saturday, deciding between 2 sets of work boots. One is $58, the other is $145, with a 10-year warranty and actual steel support. 5 years ago, you'd have grabbed the cheaper pair without a second thought. Instead, you stand there calculating the cost per wear across a decade, and you buy the $145 pair. You sit in your car afterward and realize you're thinking in years now, not in paychecks. Nobody taught you this. It grew in quietly while you weren't looking. At 39, your company announces layoffs on a Wednesday afternoon. By 4 o'clock, the office is quiet in that specific way that means everyone is privately messaging each other. You go home and run your numbers. Your savings cover 4 months at your current spending level. Your investments are sitting untouched. You aren't completely safe, but you are not one missed paycheck away from total collapse either. When the cuts happen 2 weeks later, you keep your job. But 2 colleagues you had lunch with every week do not. You feel relief and guilt at the exact same time, and underneath both, a colder clarity. The only real defense against an unpredictable system is time bought by a number in an account. You raise your emergency target from 4 months to 7. At 40, your friend Devin leases a brand new Tesla. He doesn't call it a lease. He calls it basically owning it. You know what $890 a month for 6 years actually costs. Sitting in his passenger seat, feeling the luxury, a voice in you says, "You've been disciplined for 4 years now. Don't you deserve this?" You notice the voice. You don't argue with it. You just let it pass. Because $890 a month for 72 months is over $64,000. For an asset that drops in value every day, you drive home in your 7-year-old Accord with absolute clarity about what you're doing and why. At 41, you get a promotion. Your salary jumps from $89,000 to $104,000. Instead of moving into a $2,400 a month apartment for an extra bedroom you don't need, you raise your 401k contribution by the exact percentage of your raise. Your lifestyle stays the same, but you just accelerated your retirement timeline by 4 years. Shortly after, your portfolio crosses $60,000. It sits with you all day, a real structural foundation. At 42, your father calls you. His truck needs a $3,400 transmission, and he's stumbling over his words because he doesn't know how to ask. You tell him not to worry. You transfer the money the next afternoon. No debt, no stress, no lost sleep. What stays with you isn't the money. It's the fact that you said, I've got it, without hesitating. Money stopped being just a balance. It became capacity. That same year, you and your partner sit down at the kitchen table with two open laptops to fully merge your finances. It's unromantic and tense. You discover student loans, hidden store cards, and old financial shame. But instead of fighting, you build a shared spreadsheet. You align on goals. Within 18 months, those debts are wiped out completely. At 43, your portfolio generates over $7,800 in a single year from growth alone. No new contributions, just the machine running on its own while you sleep. By 44, your credit card debt is zero. You own a diversified portfolio, a maxed Roth IRA, and a taxable brokerage account. You feel a strange loneliness at dinners with old friends who are either struggling financially or spending recklessly. But you learn that you can't force people to change. They have to reach their own uncomfortable 1 a.m. moment on their own. At 45, your daughter is born. 2 weeks later, running on no sleep, you open a 529 college savings plan for her, $150 a month automated. By the time she's 18, she'll have roughly $58,000 waiting for her. You aren't just giving her money, you're giving her the 12-year head start you never had. On your 46th birthday, you wake up before your alarm and check the number, $310,000. It isn't get-rich-quick money, but it is real. Working wealth built from scratch over 10 disciplined years. 8 years ago, you thought reaching this point would feel like a dramatic victory. It doesn't. It feels like paying for a broken water heater without your stomach dropping. It feels like helping your father without a second thought. It feels like waking up on a Sunday morning and realizing that your future is no longer something that happens to you. It's something you built. If you're sitting at your own kitchen table right now, waiting for the right moment to start, let this be your Sunday morning. Hit the subscribe button, drop a comment with the age you're starting at, and let's stop looking away together.